What is up, guys? What if I can tell you, okay, that the Drapers are VC royalty? Okay, we'll get more into that later. And we've connected the Tim Draper, to another exchange. Okay, and this exchange is holding a fair amount of a very, very big, important coin. Okay. So we'll get into that a little bit later as well. What is going on, guys? But as always, let's cue my guy, Indigo Saint, at the Third Eye. Be sure to check his channel out. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Let's get it. Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Black View Investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer?
Best believe I was black, you invested. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifested. So we binge on a black, you invested. Best believe I was black, you invested. That course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. So thank God for that black, you invested. Best believe I was black, you invested.
What's going on, guys? I was trying to share this on. I was trying to share this to my viewers on a different on our Telegram. Hold on one moment here. You guys might hear a little echo because I'm gonna get this link so I can share it to everyone on Telegram. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that right quick, and then we'll get straight away into it, guys. Hope everyone's doing well this Saturday. Okay, let me see. I think I got the link here ready, and then we can get into what we're getting into today. All right, guys. So we've tracked Draper to another exchange, okay? And this one's pretty big. Let's go ahead and share the screen here. And let's see what we got in the chat. What's up, Brand G? What is up, Maximus Crypto? What is up, Underdog Research Channel? Be sure to check out the show I did with Maximus Crypto on Thursday, and Underdog was gracious enough to drop by. We're going to be linking that. We're going to be talking about that a little bit today. So yeah, we'll get straight into it, actually. So this exchange that we've linked Draper to is the Revolut exchange. Okay, what is up, E? Be sure to guys to also go to our Telegram here. Wonderful Telegram here, completely free for right now. We'll be talking DeFi, lending and staking, meme coins, all types of stuff talked in this Telegram. So many wonderful creators who come over here and comment, like Shook Focus, like the Crypto Ronin. So many good people. Definitely come over and check out the Telegram. But yeah, let's get into this. Okay. Now, one thing I want to highlight about Revolut comes from the show that I did with Maximus on Thursday. So we're going to bring that up right quick. And let me see. I listen to stuff in very fast speed. So we'll go down to 1.25. It just helps me, get two more content. So yeah, so let's listen to this right here. And as you can see, Underdog Research Channel is there as well. Let's go ahead and play. I'm pretty sure I clicked the button, but you know what? I don't know if I clicked the button. So let's go ahead and just start that right over again. Delete that one. And we'll share. I hate that they changed this interface. It was good the way it was. And now. Okay. Sorry about that. I guess I got to do it again. Play screen sharing. Entire screen. Click that button. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Okay. It should be sharing, but I guess it isn't. So sorry, guys. Add media source. Screen. Boom. Okay. All right. I guess that's it. I hope you can hear the sound. Let me know if you can hear the sound or not, guys. I'm gonna play it. I think I did the right thing, but we'll see. Okay. We shall see. It doesn't, it just doesn't look right. One more time. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so here we go. Make sure the volume's up. And boom.
Check out this screenshot. This is why you want to pay attention to Revolut and the Quant connection. So look at this. Revolut. How much QNT do they own? My God, 55,000 QNT.
So Revolut, right here, you can see darn near 55K quant. And this brings up something that I never kind of really considered, is that now Draper and these billionaires can actually hide the amount of a certain coin that they own by having one of their institutions buy it instead. Okay, so who knows how much quant Draper has in another exchange, right? Besides a Revolut. But it's really awesome to see that Revolut is holding this much quant, really, and knowing that Tim Draper is behind it, that Tim Draper owns it. What does that say about his feelings for quant, right? Okay. And we already know a lot about quant if you watch Maximus Crypto. If you don't, you should be. Okay. Yeah, so quant's definitely going to be a connector when it comes to things like this. And we'll get into a diagram that Uphold CEO posted a couple days ago, right? About that. But yeah, look at that. Nearly 55K quant Revolut is holding. Okay. And we're going to continue to play here.
Holy cow, right? Look at this. Let's take you over to this posting. This was posted February, so a few months ago. Look what it says. Revolut to launch own crypto exchange. Here's what we know. We are launching a new crypto exchange built with advanced traders in mind. Goes on to also mention, in an email to some of its customers, leading digital bank Revolut app announced plans to launch its own cryptocurrency exchange for which it is currently testing a beta version. That was back in February. Boasts some 30 million users for its existing products, which no doubt hopes will convert to users in its eventual centralized exchange. Remember how we talked about utility motion, mass adoption? I think for the most part, I got some of your attention here.
So definitely go over and finish this video after we're done, of course. This is on Maximus Crypto's channel, XLM burn soon, Quant, the RSN, the RSN, and the RLN explained. Great, excellent video. We did some excellent work on there. Tons of great work by Maximus and his research, which I love and stand behind. So definitely go over there and check that out. But yes, so now having Revolut start its own cryptocurrency exchange, we know that Draper's done the same thing with Robinhood too, right? And Robinhood just bought Bitstamp. So this is an exchange, by the way. I'm not sure if it's clear that Revolut is an exchange in Europe. So it seems like Draper is ramping up his exchanges in Europe. Okay. So this is from February 16th. Robinhood just recently bought Bitstamp a couple weeks ago. So now Draper will have Revolut and Robinhood in Europe. Coinbase and Gemini here in the US, CoinDX in India, UnoCoin in India, CoinHaku and CoinNut in Malaysia and Singapore. Did I say CoinDX? Well, I'll say it again. CoinDX and CoinUno in India. And CoinNut, I think, also is in Canada. So basically, this guy is like in multiple different countries, biggest, of course, being the US and Europe with cryptocurrency exchanges. Okay. So that's very, very, very huge. And let me go ahead. I hope you guys heard that. I'm going to check here and see if you guys did hear that. Okay, awesome. and Underdog with the military terminology right there. I love it. Um, let's go and then give you here. Now, one of the things that came up in this research is going to lead us to Draper being VC royalty. Okay. I was doing some research on Revolut and connecting it to Draper because I knew he owned it. Somehow that sounded familiar. Okay. And what came up is, okay, so here it is, just to kind of double back up. The Revolut is enabling crypto. They're going to enable crypto purchase directly into MetaMask wallets. Now, remember that we connected Draper to consensus, because you can see here on Draper Associates, he says that, part of their portfolio is in Ethereum. I contend that Draper may own a piece of consensus. And if that is true, Draper would also own a piece of MetaMask, because MetaMask is owned by consensus. Now, understand too, also JP Morgan funds consensus, right? So does Draper have some connection or ownership with JP Morgan? Who knows? I can't say on that. But at the very least, we can say possibly that there is a consensus connection, which would also put him at one of the leading DeFi wallets, which is MetaMask, which we also know MetaMask connects into Ledger, which Ledger he does admit and say that he owns. If you go down on this one, Draper Associates portfolio, and I already passed the L's. Ledger is here, right here, right? So, yeah, so there we go. But I wanted to show you. Okay, here it is. So basically, Draper has been purchased, Revolut, okay? But this is connected to Draper's venture capital firm, eSpirit, which the firm no longer exists as eSpirit. It exists as Molten, which I believe he still has a connection to, okay? So I just wanted to tell you this because if someone goes and double checks the information, they're going to be like, okay, well, it's not Draper eSpirit anymore. How do we know that they still own it? So I did that checking for you, and I'll show you right now. So Revolut backing venture capital firm Draper eSpirit portfolio jumps to 1.3 billion pounds, I believe that is. So not only does Draper eSpirit own Revolut, I think Draper eSpirit is also a publicly traded company in Europe. So that's important as well to note. But Draper eSpirit eventually ends up changing their name to Molten. So they say here that they had a distant relationship with the VC, their Draper VC family, and as far as I can tell, this is speculation on my part. As far as I can tell, it seems like there may have been some problem with the former and founding CEO Simon. But they still maintain the connection to Draper, and how we can kind of prove that is I'm gonna go here. So Draper Venture Network, they actually reposted something from Molten Ventures. They did that in May 24th, 2023. So it seems as though they're still on good terms. And there's probably still a part of the Draper Venture Network. And just to show you where that repost is, if we go Draper Venture Network, we scroll down, and we can see here they reposted it. This posting. This posting is not really germane to what we're saying right now, but I just wanted to let you guys know that. Okay. So what came up in looking at Molten Ventures? These guys said, okay, this is pretty big stuff here. So they said they IPO'd. They let us know that they IPO'd. Okay. And this is from June 2016. And this kind of really blew me away here. Draper eSphere is pleased to announce on Wednesday, June 15th. So 615 is 6, so 66. We will be admitted to London and Dublin stock exchanges with the tickers, whatever, GROW or whatever. So it's pretty funny. If you dig down in here, this is what they say, okay? The current popular VC structure, the limited partnership LP, was first used nearly 60 years ago by our very own Tim Draper's grandfather, General William Henry Draper, who moved to Palo Alto and started the first private VC limited partnership, Draper Gaither Anderson. So as I read that, the first limited partnership was started by Tim Draper's grandfather. Okay. So literally, the Drapers started the whole VC movement. Okay. And I found additional information to that to back that up. But what I found very strange was I went to Wikipedia and I found Draper's grandfather. Okay. They say he's American Army officer, banker, government official, and diplomat. They do not mention at all that that's what he did, or at least I don't see it anywhere. I don't see anything about Draper Gaither Anderson. I don't see that he was the first person to start a limited partnership. All they talk about is that he was Draper's grandfather and that he's like this military general. That's all they truly talk about here. Which is very, I find that very interesting. I find that very interesting. They choose to focus on his army career and do not focus at all on the fact that he kind of started the first VC fund. Okay. And very interesting to note, he was the US ambassador to NATO. Okay. So the reach of the Draper family, pretty huge here. Okay. US ambassador to NATO. So he's responsible to probably get US policy through the NATO and getting done what the U.S. once done NATO. Okay, so that seems very, very huge, and I would think there. So to further collaborate that, I found some information here, and I'll tell you again why this is very important. Okay, but here in this link, they say the lost history of venture capital. Okay, they say the first institution that kicked off the modern venture capital was American Research and Development, founded in 1946 by a professor of Harvard Business School, George. Looks like Detroit. It makes me want to say Detroit, but it's probably Dorroit. Dorroit. I'm going to use that R twice in the pronunciation. So let's say Dorroit or Duroit would probably be how that's pronounced. Who is also a general in the Army. So one of the things that continuously comes up is generals. These guys were Army generals as far as like World War II is concerned. Again, if we go back to William Henry Draper, it seems like he was also in the U.S. Army as well. So we got this Army connection. And if we got off into the woo-woo and you look at some people like the Beatles and stuff like that and the Doors, there's a huge Army connection with those people. That's an entirely different subject. We won't even get into that, but the Army is, people be making connections in the Army for real. Okay, so there. So I find that very strange that they didn't mention that at all. But let's go back to that link, the lost history. So the first institution that kicked off modern venture capital were these guys. And then he says, this link says, so why did I say venture capital started in 1959? Because our ARDC wasn't organized as a fund, and it didn't always take minority ownership in its investees. In fact, its most famous investment was Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC, and they owned 77%. That's a funny number. The first modern venture capital fund was Draper, Gaither, Anderson. Okay. And General Draper worked with Dorroit, okay, in the U.S. Army during World War II. So after the war, Draper was a part of the team that ran the Marshall Plan. Draper's son joined the firm too, which is Draper's dad, okay, leaving in 1962 to form Draper Johnson, and then in 1965 to found Sutter Hill Ventures, okay, which still exists today. Venture capital is the Draper family business, with Tim Draper founding Draper Fisher Jerviston in the 80s, which is rebranded as Draper Associates. So the reason why this is important, and we're going to continue on talking about this for a little bit, but the reason this is important is, remember I told you guys before that Draper's dad founded Sutter Hill. I didn't go as far back to Draper's father's father, which started Draper, Gaither, Anderson. So when many people compare the fact that crypto looks very similar to the dot-com boom and the Silicon Valley boom, this is the exact same family that started Silicon Valley. Okay? This is the exact same family that started it. So the exact same family that started Silicon Valley is also the exact same family behind cryptocurrency. So it's no coincidence that cryptocurrency, in the way that we are seeing its boom, resembles .com, because it started by the same exact family. Okay. And what did the .com boom do? It produced many millionaires, regular millionaires and billionaires of regular people, okay, that invested in things like Amazon, Microsoft, IBM, right? So this should really make you enthused, because we are following in the same footsteps of those people who invested in a Microsoft, who invested in a Apple, who invested in an IBM, because we're following the exact same family. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, anybody, let me know if that does not make sense to you, though. But so where great granddaddy Draper started his business in Palo Alto, that is where Silicon Valley eventually ended up being. Okay, so there was nothing there. There was no Silicon Valley. Great granddaddy Draper comes in, and then granddaddy Draper comes in, and then Tim Draper comes in. Okay, so when Adam Draper tells us that he's a fourth generation venture capitalist, well, that means that actually just means a ton. It means a lot. Okay, so wondering, oh wow, underdog research, very thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Receiving knowledge offers a choice. Let's just stop the show and acknowledge its immense value or overlook it. I embrace its impact, choosing to give fair exchange, honoring its worth, and empowering others. Let our actions reflect our gratitude, lifting up and enriching those around us. The underdogs, 100%. Thank you, brother. Very much appreciate that. Very much appreciate that. So this blew me away when I found this, because it's like, okay, like before it was almost like, okay, we're making the connections, like, okay, this is like the dot-com boom, but it's really like the dot-com boom, and it's really by the same people, right? Like crazy. So I found another article in which Draper's dad is talking, and Draper's dad is still alive, by the way. See if we can find it. Article. Okay, Bill Draper was one of the first Silicon Valley VCs. So remember, we already kind of showed you that, right? So great granddaddy Draper, William Draper, started it, and so don't get confused. This article kind of re-clears it up, because you'll look and see like who's the first C, and everyone will reference this George Detroit or Dorroit, right? But that's actually kind of inaccurate, in which this article says. So why did I say venture capital started in 1959? Because it wasn't always organized as a fund. It didn't have that whole limited partnership thing. That didn't come until Draper's great grandfather, okay, who actually worked with Dorroit, okay. The first modern venture capital fund was Draper Gaither Anderson. General Draper worked with Dorroit in the U.S. Army during World War II, and after the war, Draper was a part of the team and ran the Marshall Plan. Okay, so Draper's son joined, and that's the guy who we're going to reference in this article right now. Okay. Okay, so this is Business Insider. This article is from like 2012, March 14, 2012. It says, once or twice a week, Bill Draper comes to Buck's restaurant in Woodside, California to eat breakfast and close deals. Man's still closing deals, bro. Like even in 1912 or 2012. And the firm still exists. If you go look at Sutter Hill Capital, it's just a website. The website gives you zero information, but the website's there. So it's like, you got to know this, bro. You got to know this guy to call him. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got to know. So Draper moved to the Bay Area in 1959, which we told you, to join his father, William Henry Draper, who started the very first venture capital firm in the West. The actual very first venture capital firm ever, period. Okay. According to the article we just read. 3 years later, Draper on his own founded Draper Johnson Investment Company with his friend Pitch Johnson. Maybe he's really good people. 3 years later, those old school like nicknames, boy, like Pitch Johnson, Oil Can Watson, or something like that. Boy, those old school names, boy, they nicknames, they're strong. They're strong. Where he financed several hundred high-tech companies. It's still a very successful venture capital firm today, and that's him. And he has those really strong eyebrows, which Tim Draper also has. I think this is maybe a family trait, or maybe they're pointing out something. I've only seen one other person with strong eyebrows like the Draper family, and I'm not going to reference him here because of who he is. I don't know. Well, we'll just save that for the Telegram, okay? But yeah, I've only seen one other person with strong eyebrows like that. We talked about how he got started and what's changed since then, okay? I wonder, of course, Apple's one. If they started Silicon Valley, maybe there's some reference or ownership there with Apple. Okay, you need empathy to succeed. Draper doesn't like it when someone who comes in never asks a question about him and his firm. Even Steve Jobs had empathy, according to Draper. This is Daddy Draper, William Draper. Even though he has a reputation for being tough-minded and abrupt, he was empathetic with the customer. Okay, that's where he connected, understood his thing. And Draper said this while pointing to his iPhone. If it's going to be too heavy, back to engineering. Also in this, it says that Draper worked for the UN. Okay, so we got Draper's working for the UN, ambassador to NATO. Like, this is world movement of money, world movement of policy. Underdog Research Channel, right? How that policy works for Draper to bring and create new American jobs. So here's the connection in which we see that these Drapers are intimately involved with U.S. policy. Okay, huge. In 1986, and this is William Draper. This is Draper's dad. For those who know too, he is also a member of Skull and Bones. For those who know that, it's mentioned on his wiki page, which I'm sure we'll look at it in a second too. Wikipedia page. In 1986, he worked for the United Nations, where he led the Multilateral Development Grant Assistant Program. So another program that sounds kind of eerily like the EB-5 program, right? One thing I learned working for the UN is how underutilized women are and how underprivileged they are in some parts of the world, which sounds, again, like this EB-5 program. So I don't know how to put it, but other than like, it seems like the Drapers find underutilized talent, a big portfolio of money. So one thing I learned for the UN is how underutilized parts of the world. When I got back to my home, we at Sutter Hill had never employed a owner. I don't know any venture capital firms in those early days that did. When I got back here, I decided I was going to have a partner, Robin Richards. Okay, so and then he also quips about a joke that he made. He made a bet with Fidel Castro. So apparently he was hanging with Castro. I don't know how that works because of the whole quote unquote relations with US and Cuba, but apparently Draper was down there and made a bet with the man. So there it is. Most of the time is spent working with the Draper Richards Kaplan Foundation. It picks a selective group of social entrepreneurs and gives them $1,000 or $100,000 for 3 years on nonprofits. Oh, let me read that again. Most of his time is now spent with working with Draper Richards Kaplan Foundation. It picks a selective group of social entrepreneurs and gives them $100,000 for 3 years to start nonprofits like they would start a startup. So what Tim Draper did was basically extrapolate all of this and start like Draper University, Draper Startup House, and made his father started this Kaplan Foundation. Okay. So there we kind of see a lot of it, right? Yeah. So one of the things I would just like to kind of point out, and this is a little bit in the woo-woo, we'll just talk about it just a little bit. Just indulge me a little bit here, y'all. United Nations. Just indulge me just for the very little bit here. So if you look at the UN's logo, I just like to point out this is a particular map of the world, and it shows the world in reefs. Reefs tend to be the symbolism of victory. So I don't know if this is the United Nations saying they take victory over the known world in this particular way that they choose to show the world. But yes, Drapers apart was, I don't know if it doesn't exactly say what his role was with the United Nations, but he was there making some type of inroads. Let's see. Does it say working for the UN? So he worked for the UN, and the UN seems like with this logo, it claims victory over the world. So these are the type of we're talking about when we're talking about the Drapers here. So let's see if we can get some insight going to the elder Drapers. Wikipedia. So they gave 0 on grandfather Drapers. Let's see what we can find going to the Drapers. William Henry Draper III. So okay, so on this one, it says that William Henry Draper III did found Draper Gaither Anderson, but on his actual page, nothing about it. And he said he served as the first ambassador for NATO. So that was some more color to our conversation here. Bill Draper's father was the first ambassador to NATO. Okay. So very, very interesting. And NATO, I never looked at their logo before, but if that's their logo, that's Northern Star type of Polaris type of symbology right there in this circle with the star in the middle. If you know, you know. We could go down a whole freaking rabbit hole with Northern Star type of symbology, but we'll say that for another show, right? But here it says he attended Yale University with George H.W. Bush. And the year after George H.W. Bush and is a member of the Skull and Bones, as you can see here. So they're 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 cool enough to just say that on his Wikipedia. So it's like, okay, you better put some respect on his name. He's Skull and Bones guys out here. So don't play around. Um, After graduating from college, Draper served as a second lieutenant in the war. And this is these old school type leader people. It's really important for them to be in the war for whatever reason. I mean, that's a really important chip of their portfolio. It seems to come up a lot with that. I just wanted to point that out because I know John F. Kennedy. They mention that a lot about him being in the war and different ones being in the war like that. So he attended Harvard Business School and studied under Professor Georges Detroit. Okay, who is often credited with starting the venture capital industry. We already kind of slayed this demon. It was actually, so to speak, it was actually his father who started it. But here goes the connections again, in that he studied under this professor, and they say this professor was also in the army. So we got all of that just folding in on itself. All of these connections with all of these different people. Okay, then you throw the Bushes into the fray. It just shows you the magnitude, the reach, and the power of these gentlemen. After his graduation from Harvard Business School, Draper worked as a steel salesman at Chicago's Inland Steel Company. And then we get into some of his venture capital. And then we see a younger Draper who looks, of course, a lot like his son. And here we are with the eyebrows again. So this is his UN photo. See if we can get more about that. Draper played an international leadership role, expanding the world economy and addressing the global wealth gap. He served from 1981 to 1986 as chairman of the Export-Import Bank of the United States. So he's serving as a very important international banking person, which kind of dovetails all the stuff that we keep hearing about international banking and goes into SWIFT and how it's a cross-border payment system, right? So we can see that Daddy Draper, daddy meaning Tim Draper's daddy, played an important part of export and import banking. Okay, so it makes a lot of sense that Tim Draper and SWIFT are really going to be kind of detrimental or utopian or important for movement of cross-border payments. Okay, in 1986, he became the head of the world's largest source of multilateral development grants, the United Nations Development Program, as the second-ranking individual in the United Nations. Jesus, bro, I'm sorry. Like, again, for me, that's not taking the Lord's name in vain for my religion, but gee golly, like, wow. So Draper oversaw, and there we go with this logo again. Like, guys, these flags, there's just levels to this stuff, right? These flags and these logos are saying so much more than we think. Like, we just think that's just their logo, whatever. They could have chose anything, but they chose this, right? Which probably speaks to them on a much higher level than is speaking to us. I broke down some of the symbols to you just a minute ago, and that's just from my limited knowledge, right? There could be way more than that, right? There could be way more going on. Like, you can see there's a radical here, like a radical looking thing. Like, there could be way more going on. Draper oversaw nearly 10K international aid projects during his time in the UN and the Export-Import Bank. Draper traveled to 101 developing, so that's 11. Tell you how that number comes up a lot, right? Developing countries and met with over 50 heads of state under Draper. The agency's programs grew in value from 89 million to 1.5 billion. And a lot of times when I think too, when they're giving us these numbers, there's some type of meaning in that too, because who knows what the actual numbers are. But one of the things I always point out to you guys is the number 6 comes up a lot. So 1.5, 1 plus 5 is 6. But who knows? It could have been way more money than this, way more money. But again, this just shows you like literally they're responsible for moving money. Okay. Turn to venture capital, and then here we go with the Draper Richards Kaplan Foundation. I think this is enough, and we can probably get into more of this later. But wow, right? Wow. Papa Kev with a 10 super chat. Very much appreciated. Shook Focus Digital with $20 super chat. Thank you guys so much. Very much appreciated. There are very few channels that research like this. Rooted Truth. Appreciate you, brother. So, wow. Thank you guys so much. That really means a lot to me. Really means a lot to me. And the channel. Papa Kev with another $5 super chat. Wow. Like thank you guys. It really means a lot. I can't tell you. Like very much. Like thank you. So here with Papa Draper though, we're getting a whole bunch, but now we really understand the scope of what's going on here. And we really understand the opportunity that's laid before us. And that gets us to our third part of what's going on here, which is a second opportunity, right? I know a lot of people, we see this crypto market like going down. It's like, will Bitcoin get to 50K? Will it get to 57K, 58K, 50K? None of that is really important. Really, what's very much important is we have lower prices, guys, right? If you're buying at 57 or you're buying at 50, like what we're actually getting is like, look, halving has happened. The boom after the halve has not happened yet. So there's no reason to believe that it won't happen, right? So now we just have another opportunity to reorganize our portfolios, right? We have another opportunity to get into. Is this not sharing? Right. Okay, it is. We have another opportunity to get into things that we were highly confident in, right? I really hope this is sharing things correctly, because I go over there and it doesn't look like it is. Are you guys seeing everything, or is it not showing right? Is it sharing my screen properly? I just want to know that. Please let me know if it is or not. Okay, let me see. So now we have this second opportunity at these projects, right? Like, let's go look at an LCX, right? LCX, and we've told you how LCX connects to the World Economic Forum, and how LCX was like the guinea pig for MiCA laws, right? And we've been talking about these MiCA laws because they come up with Robinhood and how Robinhood purchased Bitstamp to be eligible for MiCA laws that Bitstamp already has, right? And now we throw onto that Revolut, which we didn't know Tim Draper owned, but now he owns that, and that's also starting its own cryptocurrency deal there, right? So we look at a coin like LCX and we know its position with the forum, and we know that it already is MiCA law. It already has MiCA laws. It's already like compliant with MiCA laws. Okay. This coin was as high as like 40 something cents, I believe, this year already. And now it's at about 18 or 19 cents, right? So with different things like this, we're almost getting a second opportunity. Is it as low as it was at the beginning of 2023, which was like 4 cents? Well, no, it isn't. But at 44 cents, when possibly this thing could be much, much higher, you're getting it now. Well, for me, that's a win, right? For me, that's a win. And there are tons of different coins you can think of that have the same thing going for it. I'm just singling out LCX because I do very much believe in LCX. So are you getting it back here where you could have November or December where it was like 8 cents or 4 cents? Well, no, you're not. But getting it here at 18, where it's under a billion supply, just under a billion supply, and we know it's already MiCA compliant and already a member of the forum. Well, to me, that's a bargain, right? So we have a second opportunity to get into these projects that are related to these things that Draper seems to be aligning himself with and getting himself with. LCX is already MiCA compliant, like Robinhood was trying to be, right? So why not get in projects like these? Other projects, related to Draper Associates, we can look at a ton of them. But and if you want different projects like this, come and check out the Patreon, where for now, until we change it, things are happening in the background, guys. For now, it's available for whatever price is available for, but I don't think it will be like that very soon. But yeah, where were we here? Okay, yes. So what I wanted to highlight is Dr. Martin Heispec of Uphold, CEO of Uphold, posted a very cool mind map from the same guy that we reference with Red Pill Professional. Definitely check out his content too. But this XX_1133_1221_11. I got this and I saved it so we can actually zoom into certain parts. One of the things you will notice here is what we were focusing on a couple days ago in USDC is connected to a lot of this, and the forum is connected to a lot of these projects, and also connected to a lot of these projects, Tim Draper, right? There's Casper, there's Cello, who we know, former founder of Swift is connected to Cello. There's Seller. We've shown you those connections to Draper. We've shown you that Algorand, as far as like Drapers had Algorand at the Draper University talking before, right? We just showed you Revolut, Quant, they hold, right? So all of these different projects. I know it's meme season and everybody's all gaga over meme coins, but sooner or later, the things that have no utility are going to be trashed. And the things that have utility, the Microsofts, if you will, the IBMs, if you will, the Apples, if you will rise to the top, just like they did in the previous like .com boom, which we know now the Drapers were actually behind, and they will take their place. And become the blue chips of this new market, right? So here a lot of them are right in front of you, right? And we know they have this backing by the WEF, this backing by very power players in our world, right? And I definitely suggest you guys watch the video me, Max, and Underdog did, because it'll connect a lot of these, right? But here it is, right? So let's just start from the quant connection. Stable coins plugging into quant. And as far as from a G7 point of view, we see that USDC and the digital dollar is going to be important for movement to all of these different places. So quant is basically the over ledger. And if you can think of every one of these different coins as a different liquidity pool or a different ledger, if you will, quant is the over ledger, the ledger that is connecting all of these, okay? All of these different ledgers, all of these different liquidity pools, all of these different flows of money. And we've been over the whole flow thing and water thing in reference to money, right? So this over ledger connecting all of these separate ledgers, right? CBDCs and stable coins as a conduit moving through Casper, LCX, Celo, IOTA, all these different things. And one we kind of told you guys about a couple weeks ago as well, Energy Web Token, which will basically tokenize, right? Metapath, right? Tokenize energy assets and use them as something you can tokenize and back up or fund money with, or what I say, like be an actual commodity you can back money with, or an actual commodity that you can tokenize and buy via Energy Web Token. Is built on Polkadot, by the way. So all of these different projects, we have a quote unquote kind of second chance at discounted prices, right? Like, be the one to take advantage, be the one to reorganize your portfolio and get things like LCX at 18 cents, right? Be the one to reorganize your portfolio and get things like Thorium and Sologenic at like 11 cents. Be the one to reorg your portfolio and get, Stellar at 9 cents, 8 cents. The opportunity right in front of us, right? And certain meme coins might make it, but when we look at all the money and the systems of systems and the technology that's built into all of these things, personally, I'm more long-term happy to put my money in this than like a dog with hat. Okay, so let's go out here for some comments and see what everyone has to say about this, and we'll see what we're talking about then. Okay, perfect, because it didn't look like things were being seen properly. Let's start from the top here. Okay, it has this weird coloring on these things that makes it hard for me to see. I don't know why that is. Okay, there we go. What's up, everyone? Let's get this game. Smash the like. Here with Rue. Let's get this started out right. E in the building. Pay me an XLM in the building. One love, brother. What is up? Pay me with XLM. I love it. For sure. What's up, David Middleton? What's up, Maximus? Again in the building. Underdog with the oh god, what's that movie? Gladiator reference. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Love it. What's going on? Good morning, good evening to you all and everyone. Maximus, your stellar coverage is nice. Okay, and it is 100%. It is. Esco 215. What is up? Finally on time for once. I'm late as heck over here. Leave it, Charlie. Loud and clear, Root. Thanks, pay me. What's up, Papa Kev? Drop what you're doing. Kev in the building. Again, thanks for the $5 super chat. If you read the message or you have a social media page, telephone right now, take 60 seconds to simply post this video or share. 100%. Appreciate that. Definitely want to share. For some reason, it's not coming through the numbers I am getting on the X, but it says 31, 17 from my channel, 14 for Gentlemen of Crypto. Not sure why the X numbers aren't coming through. It usually says that. There we go, Papa Kev. That's how we support and take action. I will match your energy. What's the value of your knowledge, especially the information that can change your life? 100%. JP Morgan, this is from Max, is also now on the RSN, as confirmed from Thursday's show, as well as the RLN, as well as through Quant's Overledger Network, aka the OVN. So definitely check out that episode from Max on Thursday. If you guys do not know what the RSN is and the RLN, I'm going to be breaking down a video that he showed from there. And oh my God, this video, it should really have not been shown. In fact, they say in the video they shouldn't be shown. Just to let you guys know, that video had every big bank involved in it, like America at least. They're speaking about how they plan to transition money to what it's going to be, which is cryptocurrency. They were talking about it there openly, and they said this should be shared. Okay, this is only for internal use only. I don't know who found it. I don't know how Max found that junk, but we're definitely going to break that down. Okay, and again, we just kind of showed you, right, how the Drapers have been instrumental to international or cross-border movement of money, and how they basically started venture capital here in America. So if this doesn't make you, if you're not entertained, I don't know what's going on with you. I really don't know what's going on with you. But definitely check out this video here from Maximus, because it's going to let you know about the ledger portion of it. And remember how I keep telling you guys there's levels. This goes into the hermetic principles too, right? About like all the different hermetic principles, the principle of rhythm, the principle of vibration. They're like levels to this junk, right? And the RSN and the RLN lets you know about the ledger level, right? So it's taking all these different coins, all these different liquidities, and it's putting them on the ledger level. And Quant is the over ledger. Okay, so it's definitely important for you guys to check out this video from Max, this latest video. He even chops it up to you in bite size. He's been putting out bite-sized chunks of the video, but definitely I would suggest checking out the whole 4 hours. I know 4 hours sounds like a lot, but what I do is I put either 1.5 times speed or 1.75 speed. And when something really catches my eye, I go back and I slow it down. Okay. So definitely go check that out. And you know, that's just a little tip if you want to consume more content. Watch it. Even 1.25 speed makes so much of a difference. Like you look and you're like, okay, like wow, I finished that so quickly. But 1.25, it makes a big difference. Papa K, a future of gazillionaire club for women now, 100%. And the very generous $100 super chat from my guy, Underdog Research Channel. I'm just going to read that one more time. Receiving knowledge offers a choice. Acknowledge its immense value or overlook it. I embrace its impact, choosing to give fair exchange, honoring its worth, and empowering others. Let our actions reflect gratitude, uplifting, and enriching those around us, the underdogs. And that should be on a shirt or like a poem or something, bro. You gotta release that or something like freaking like crypto poetry jam over here, right, bro? Like that's very powerful, profound, and compact um, words that you drop there, brother. I appreciate it. 100% Maximus. Another grand research from Phantom Beat. You rock, underdog. Good vibes. Mainly music. What is up, bro? Shout out to anyone who listened to me about Rivian stock and made a few. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Rivian. Yeah, mainly comes on here and drops some knowledge about Hedera and stocks for us. Appreciate you coming through, brother, and appreciate you sharing knowledge. Yeah, Rivian did pretty well. And yeah, like that whole sector, electrical stocks, it's definitely overlooked. And still Rivian at the price, even though it's up like 40% now, it's still at a really juicy price for those who might have bought it when it was at like $20 or so. So Rivian looks like it's going to be a big winner. A lot of different electrical vehicle stocks like Fisker and the rest are kind of falling to the wayside. But yeah. Anthony Davis of the Lakers has some powerful house. Yes, Maximus Crypto, the brow does has some powerful brows out here, bro. My audio is going in and out. Oh, geez, that's not good. Let me see what I can do about that. Maybe stop moving my head so much, you know. Probably Cox Communications working on network in Phoenix. Excuse me. If we can manage crypto market complexities like fees and taxes, we have the capacity to support beneficial work. Let's confidently embrace and this ability to contribute financially. Rock and Roo, appreciate you. Appreciate you again, Chick Focus Digital, and 100% from Maximus there. We're going to re-say this one as well. There are very few channels offering research like this. Root of Truth. Appreciate you, brother. Maximus with the respect to Shook out here. What's up, G? Swift C has connections to both China and the USA. But Swift C and GooCoin are American companies, right? I'm asking because somebody mentioned that Tim Draper pulled out of China. What? Like, this dude has multiple investments in China. I don't know who's saying that. And I think, yeah, shout out to Underdog Research Channel. I think he mentioned GooCoin in his research. But as far as I know, Draper hasn't pulled out of China because he has the whole Draper Dragon VC firm, like multiple things that he has going on. With even if he did kind of quote unquote pull out of China, he has investments in Malaysia and Singapore, things in Hong Kong, things all around there. So even if he were to quote unquote pull out of China, he has enough connections around China to still be in China. If that's the case, but I don't see any reason why he would pull out of China, because he has so many Chinese members, and like I said before, what's his name? Larry Lee Draper Dragon. So this guy, he's a Draper Dragon guy, a Draper Dragon partner, Larry Lee. I know the Lee family themselves are one of China's richest, I believe. Don't quote me on that. China's richest families. Woo, can't type today, bro. Okay, I wanted to know the families, not the people. But I believe the Lee family is a rich family, and I don't know if he's connected to those Lees. But okay, so all right, the Bung Cho family, the Samsung. I just got through seeing something where Draper was talking about Samsung. Albani family. Okay, another Lee family in Hong Kong. Okay, it's not spelled the same way that these Lees spelled their name. Mori family, which Shook Focus told us about the Mori family, right? Mori Building Company. It's also the Tories, the Sun Tories, which I don't see them on this list anywhere. So this list is they probably missed some people on this list. They're including Indian families as well. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. I would doubt that he's pulled out of China, because I know as recently as couple months ago, he was saying in that one video we were looking at that that China is one of his major. See if I find it. That China is one of his major.
Currently testing a beta version. That was back in February. Both.
Well, I probably won't be able to find that one, but he did say that China is one of his major investment, and that was recently as a couple months ago. So yeah, I'm not sure about that, G. I'll have to do some research into that and probably get back to you next show on that. But yeah, as far as I know, he is not pulled out of China. Papa Kev with another $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. I'm not getting shook. I'm staying focused on this research. Love it. Let's go down here. I'm matching 50% for every super chat I see come through tonight on this channel. Appreciate that, bro. I'm scared to death. I'm scared to look because they shook. If y'all don't know, that's who's that? I think that's Mob Deep. Shook Ones. Classic hip hop song. And Max knows his hip hop for sure. Because ain't no such things as reading only halfway through a research book. This guy's got bars out here, bro. Bars. It's another twice through from Rue. Appreciate that, brother. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. What's up, Nerd Up Inc. Mar? Peace. I'm blessed. God put me on to you, all of you. Man, I'm blessed that you came through, bro. Blessed that you came through. I wish I can like commenters post on here, but nonetheless, I see you, Papa Kev. Yeah, can we like those? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we can. What's good, Micah Main? You what up? I'm seeing everything. The Liechtenstein Exchange, the Bucks. I can't even say that next one. What's that, y'all? I can't even say that. LCX2 9999. Oh, you guys got me rolling over here, bro. Hi, E. Fist pound. This is crazy. Can you post Draper's VC portfolio? David Middleton, I can, but I can't really because it's over so many VC firms, right? This is the Draper Associates one. It's where you can find the most, but it's split over his son's portfolio. It's split over Draper Gorin Home. It's like split over so many different companies. It's kind of hard to lock all of it down. But I will post this one for you at least. Oh, that's wrong. That's in our Telegram. I meant to post that here. Boom, 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 boom. Bam. Wow, underdog. I feel like there's more than what's on that little diagram you pulled up. Oh, yeah, there's way more David Middleton, way more. Another 10 spot from underdog. Wow. Like you said before, this is him fulfilling on that 50% match. That's incredible and awesome of you, underdog. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thanks, brother. Wow, bro. 5 and a 2 spot. Very much appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. I researched and found an article regarding Tim Draper pulling out of China in 2022 and focused on Taiwan. However, it was referring to only one particular company, not all of his investments. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah, because he just came on a show and said, like literally as much as like a month or two ago, that his most important researches or his most important investments were China. Let me see if I can just do this for a second. Hopefully. Okay, let's see here. And it's probably going to show me all my videos instead of, okay, here it is. So this video was from. So this is after the 2022 date that Underdog just mentioned. This was 3 months ago, right? And he mentions that his most important investments have been China. Don't need the intro.
That thing happened, everything else kind of surged forward for you?
Well, I'd say there were two, because
and we know, and that makes sense too. Remember, because China had said that they were going to move back from crypto and all of this different stuff, but since then we've had Hong Kong loosen their rules, and then China has also loosened their rules, and we've gone over that on previous shows. So now China's rules have loosened on cryptocurrency, and I believe China also has a Bitcoin ETF and an Ethereum ETF. So Chinese rules have loosened the currency, and I think since the Chinese ETFs and all of that had happened by this time. So again, Draper does mention in this video that his biggest investments have come in China.
started by borrowing from the government through the SBIC program, and that was the money I put to work to start with. And I was on their watch list and their dirt list. And about 5 years later, the IPO window opened up, and I had 5 IPOs. And one was Parametric Technology, which is still now PTC, the largest software company in New England. And it paid for everything. I was able to pay back the government. I was able to, build my business. So that was inflection point number one. Inflection point number two was really when we funded Hotmail, and I came up with that idea, the message at the bottom of the screen saying, "P.S. I love you, get your free email at Hotmail." And they got rid of "P.S. I love you," but it spread to 11 million users in 18 months. And so I realized that if you can do something.
11 million users, 18 months. There's 11 again. There's the 9, 18, 1 plus 9. But anyway.
To delight your customers and somehow get them to spread the word, then your customers can be your sales force. And I think that has helped me along the way. And Hotmail was a big inflection point in my wealth too. And I was able to make quite a bit of money on that. And then maybe the third is when I decided to go build out a network of venture capitalists. And so I went internationally, and I was the first Silicon Valley venture capitalist to go to China. And the first one to invest in something in Eastern Europe. And so we were able to fund Baidu and Skype. And I think that's where.
And Baidu is also in that area of the world. So he's funded Baidu. And again, he's saying like this is where he made most of his money. But we've already kind of shown you that his father and his father's father were venture capitalist dudes that founded Silicon Valley. So in essence, he kind of continued what his father and his father's father did, but like expounded on it, right? So this is not to take away from what he did with Hotmail and what he did with Baidu and what he's done with China. This is not to take away from that, but just understand to color this whole, what he's saying here is that, he comes from a family of venture capitalists. Okay. So let's just understand that.
Suddenly I had extraordinary wealth. So those were probably the inflection points.
Great. Awesome. Appreciate you sharing that. What would you say is the most valuable strategy that is worth far more than $1 million that you wish somebody had provided you with early on? Obviously, the Hotmail PS one is one that you already covered, but is there another strategy that comes to mind that you just wish you would have heard on an interview just like this?
I'm a believer in human endeavor. And I think that strategy of always thinking of how to delight your customer and making your customer into a sales force is probably the most powerful thing in business. And for these family offices, I think the moment you start thinking of capital preservation, you've already lost. And I think capital preservation makes no sense. The way you make money is you invest it in human endeavor, and you invest it with people who are dedicated to what they do, and this is all they want to do with themselves. And the more complicated.
So yeah, we won't watch like too much of this, and that's great information that he's providing there. Definitely come over to this interview and check out the whole thing. Private Investor Club, 7,500 investors. Private Investor Club. Definitely come over and check out the whole video. But yeah, this was just from 3 months ago, and Draper says that China is an important part of his investments. Just look for stuff there. Draper pulling out of China is like, Max, you're killing me, bro. You're killing me, bro. It's like Magic Johnson pulling out of no offense, but it's not happening. But no, it's good. It's good that we fact check things, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and G always provides us with very, very great information on the channel, and continue. I would love it if you continue to do that, G. It's good that we double check that, because somebody else might have been wondering that that information someone else might have gotten that misinformation, and it's good that we address it. Just like how I wanted to address for you guys. Okay, if you guys went and researched Revolut and you saw that they were connected to Draper eSpirit, and you saw that Draper eSpirit was now molten, okay, is it still connected to Draper or is it not? So I think at least by the tweet of Draper retweeting Molten Adventures in 2023 and the rename happening in 2021, that we can see that they're still connected. Okay. A lot more comment on the Morris. Let's go. Should Focus Digital. Woo, let's do it. Y'all can't see. I'm excited about this information. This lights me up, guys. Like for real. Like for real. The Crypto Root Podcast, the only place where Magic Johnson can catch strays. Yeah, Magic out here catching strays, bro. For sure. Anything on Gary, buddy? Not lately, but I see that Gary's price is looking really, really nice out there. Really, really nice out there. And again, we connected them to Draper via Shima Capital. And what's up, Andrew Gonzalez? Appreciate you coming through. Where's my next super chat for Black Roo out here? My finger is on this match button. Let's give support to Faru Black for this exchange of knowledge. Again, matching 50% for every super chat. Appreciate that, bro. Okay, how did that happen? Okay, there we go. Did you hear that? Don't invest in capital investment. Invest in human endeavor people. Passionate about what they do. Wow. Yeah, I think that's some great stuff by Draper right there. Don't invest in capital investment. Invest in human endeavor people. 100%. Some great stuff by Draper there. And you can see like he definitely took what his dad had and very much expounded upon it, right? It's crazy. Definitely check out the and the link is in the description. Draper Crypto's Quiet King, where we go over some of these other connections to Draper. We can't do that today. It's just so much information. But Draper is definitely the key to the point of Swift. Okay, he's key to that, from at least for me, because then you see here, if we open up, I can't do it here, just to show you guys that, Draper Dragon is related to this guy, to Swift Blockchain. So he's the key here that they focus on Draper Dragon. I know, and we haven't looked at Node Capital yet either. So Node Capital, that might be one that we want to dive into as well. But just seeing Draper and Draper's families reach here, definitely got to get into it some more. And another thing I kind of wanted to get into here, not but this is something we're probably going to have to do some research on here. I was very so there's a few different William Drapers happen to look very much alike. It almost makes me think that, okay, now this is kind of going out on a limb here. Maybe the Drapers did something similar to what the Rothschilds did, because if you look at these other William Drapers, they look very similar, as if maybe they share a relation. Of course, they all have the name. They all have the name Draper, right? But there are a lot of William Drapers, and they look as if they do actually share an ancestor. So William Henry Draper, this guy. So he looks very much. Now he was in, I think he was born in either Toronto. Okay, he was born in London, died in Toronto. Okay. But he does look a lot like Draper's grandfather. So possibly be from England. That would be my next thought. So this William Henry Draper Jr. was born in Harlem. This William Henry Draper was born in London, but moved to Canada. But one of the things that intrigued me here was that he joined the East India Company. And linking back to the East India Company, this is like one of the biggest companies ever. Joint stock company founded in 1600. Like, I think this is where stock kind of originated with the East India Company. So could there be like, okay, I know they initiated or originated VC firms over in America, but could we even possibly have them go as far back as the East India Company that originated stock? I don't know, bro. I really don't know. But here we are again with this kind of red and white. And I was kind of looking into this familial things go. Another level to flags is that the colors might represent family crests. So I've heard. So I've heard places. So it's very interesting. And you look at East India Company. This is British. America's flag is also red, white, and blue. Like, France's flag is red, white, and blue. So a lot of these people, a lot of these countries that kind of reside in NATO and that whole NATO kind of force have the same color flag. So maybe the same family rules these countries. And Canada has a red and white flag, which is again very similar to the red and white coat of arms here of these, the red and white coat of arms of the Knights Templar, the red and white flag of Switzerland, where of course the World Economic Forum is. So again, it's just something to note. Something to think about. And if you guys aren't familiar, We've done the history of money on this channel before, the whole history of money, and money being like a promissory note and you giving a writ and you like giving your money to the Knights Templar, your gold to the Knights Templar, and getting it from the bank. The Knights Templar originated the first bank. So the history of money actually goes back to the Knights Templar. It's just something to really note there. Just something to note. Just something to note. Just something for us to note here. So, absolutely, G is a real researcher. He often discusses information I haven't completed my research on, and is spot on. Yeah, we just want to give G his flowers out here. I agree. G is great research. We appreciate you, brother. 20 people watching the show, matching 100% match for every super chat within the next 60 seconds. Wow. Can we get 10 more, 20, and 5 more 10s tonight? Wow. He looks like he's about to serve some curds. And what were you talking about, Mr. William, the other William that we was looking at? But it's very interesting that they made note to say that this William was a part of the East India Company. Like he worked with them when he was 15. 1 5 6. There's the 6 again. It's just crazy how these numbers always come up. It's just weird, huh? It's weird. Very weird. So, and he made 2 voyages to India. Eventually settled in York in Upper Canada. Had several children, including William George Draper, Francis Collier Draper, both of whom were well-known lawyers. Okay, and served as the police chief in Toronto. And there are connections with this current Draper and Toronto, as in, if we can go and bring that up. So could he be having things going on with his cousin over there, or his uncle, or his second uncle, cousin, brother, something going on there, like his uncle? I guess that would be, if that was William Draper grandfather, if that was his great grandfather's brother, that would be his going on the line, his cousins or something like that. But there are connections with this Draper and Toronto. Let me see if they're on here. Virgo. Okay, they're not on here, but Coin Haku, we can bring those guys up. Or Coin Nut. Let's bring up those guys. So there are Toronto connections here with this Draper. No. Virgo Exchange. Canada. Draper. So Virgo, yeah. So Virgo CX lands a Series A, $10 million, Toronto-based cryptocurrency exchange trading platform. Virgo CX has connected $10 from Draper Dragons. So our connections to this Draper, the Draper we've been talking about, and this other Draper who seems to have served from the chief of police in Toronto, So there may be some connections to this other Draper family and the Draper family we've been researching. But I just thought that was very interesting that they made a point to say that this Draper joined the East India Company, kind of like the first stock company, if you will, going back to Britain and back to the 1600s. So here we have Draper Dragons with this Virgo in that Toronto. So we've also seen how Draper's been working with policy and the U.S. and money policy. So that goes to question if this Draper was chief of police of Toronto in the 1800s. Maybe, some of his family, like, we'll have to go down this line and see, Francis Collier Draper and William George Draper, seeing how, if we can connect those Drapers to these other Drapers. But just we do have some Canadian exchanges that Draper is doing stuff with. Coin nut. Exchange. So is a Canada, a Canada Coina is a Canada and Singaporean exchange. So there is some connection there, and there we go with Switzerland again. So it's all coming full circle, right? It's all coming full circle, right? East Indian, Uggs and Avails money. Ooh, you're giving me another rabbit hole to go down there. Underdog, thanks for addressing Draper in China. Max, the Magic Johnson reference cracked me up. Thanks, guys. Apple Air, Ripple Water, Google Earth, Amazon Fire. There you go. I see somebody dipping into the woo-woo here. I love it. I love it. Yep. Apple Air, Ripple Water, Google Earth, Amazon Fire. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Guys, that was our old flag when we were under British rule before 1776. Let's go. Let's dip into it, y'all. It's a great sound point raised by the commenter and researchable. I'll look at those all day, G. What I can't do is thoughts based on feelings with no foundation or researchable information. I feel you on that one, Underdog. I feel you on that one. 13 stripes with the British flag top left. Oh, yeah, we get into this flag. Now, we're getting into this flag stuff. I'm loving it. So, yeah, and then the 13 stripes, 13 colonies, the whole 13 being immutable. Like, we could go deep with this stuff, y'all, which gets into a whole different level of research, right? A whole different level of stuff that people don't talk about because they think it's woo-woo and not important, but clearly it's important to these people. It's clearly important to them. His great-grandfather's brother, who was the finder of lost men, and he stroked down upon me with great vengeance and furious anger for not eating curds in a plate. Hilarious, bro. The little Pulp Fiction, bro. Oh my God. The Jules reference. Strike down with great vengeance and furious anger. Oh, boy, bro, you're killing me. You're killing me. Killing me. Anybody who's watched Pulp Fiction and seen that Jules reference, bro, classic. Classic. But yeah, I've been wanting to keep the shows under an hour, but today I think we did some great research and some great comments. So we went over an hour today, but generally I'm going to try to keep them under an hour. Mad props to all you guys. So generous. Thank you, Underdog Research Channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Papa Kev. Thank you, Should Focus. Thank you guys so much. Really means a lot. Really means a lot. Oh yeah, for sure. And I'll give another minute for people to do another super chat if you guys want. I do definitely appreciate that. The research just helps the channel go, or the super chats definitely help the channel go. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate everything, guys, and yeah, we'll be back at it on Wednesday. I might do a show tomorrow, depending on like how quickly I can break down that video that Max showed yesterday or day before yesterday. So yeah, thank you guys so much, very much. Really appreciate it. 29 watchers here, 20 on my channel, 9 on Gentleman of Crypto. 2 plus 9 is 11. Those 11s, bro, gotta love those 11s. Another immutable number. 11 and 13 immutable. Okay, immutable. So yeah, I think that was around a minute. So I'm out, guys. Got to get some food. I'm hungry as heck around here. Y'all have a really good one. Really good Saturday night. And